Okay. I'll have to take a look at that closer later. So, audio looks good. Video looks good. Whoop, phone fell asleep. Live chat doesn't seem to be working. Oh, there we go. Just being wonky. Okay, so riveting entertainment already, but type something in here. Figured start that off as a fun little tradition. And perfect. I think we're good to go. All right. Hey there, hi there, everybody. Hope you guys are all having an excellent day here so far. I can say that I am. It's been a real good day. If you saw my video a little bit earlier, happy first day since Alliance Warrior Seasons has been finished and rewards are out. And welcome to the live stream. Today is going to be the last live stream. Today's Wednesday, right? I think today's Wednesday. Anyway, it's going to be the last live stream before the AEGON Arena gets done. I'm already at 12 million points. I'm trying to put up 4 million more before Arena ends in about 14 hours. I'm not too worried. Which means tonight is going to be another super chill, laid back grind. So just going to be putting up some points. I want to say a big hey there, hi there. And hey to you too, AC. How you doing, bud? And welcome to the stream. It's going to be going for about the next hour and a half or so. Going to be really chill, laid back, and I'm glad you're here. For those of you who are tuning in after the fact, thanks for finding the channel in the depths of the YouTubes. And I'm glad that you found the place, and you know, look around, hope you see what you like. But that is enough dilly-dallying. I also, and most importantly, want to welcome the new RobVonShoes, the new Von subs, that one, to the channel. It's really cool that you guys are here. I'm really appreciative that you want to stay tuned for all the stuff that's coming out, and I'm really glad to have you here and welcome aboard. So, without too much further ado, let's dive in straight away to some arena grinding. I wound up running some of my 6s a little bit earlier today, so unfortunately they're about an hour and a half out still before they're all cooled down. But I do have a chunk of them left, and then we'll dive into some of the 5-stars and go from there. AC, cheers. You know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all, because for one, it's about time that the luck pendulum is swinging back the other way. But it's a new champ, and I haven't played King Groot seriously in ages, so I'm not mad. I cannot be mad. I'm pretty happy about it. Wasn't my first choice for the poll, but you know, I can't be mad. What's up, Nathan? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well this fine evening. Solder, howdy, 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 and Jack. Nothing much, buddy. What's up with you? Glad to have you all here tonight. But like I was saying earlier, today was a big day. I'm personally glad that there's going to be a bit of a break in war seasons here. It was really nice seeing that post from Kabam yesterday, saying that they're going to be adjusting flow for next season, make it a little bit not easier, but increase the workarounds for it. So that'll be nice. But again, I'm just really looking forward to a bit of downtime, and well, I just barely missed that. And get to focus on a whole bunch of catch-up. I'm not going to finish that before that switches back. Whole bunch of catch-up. Because, you know, there's the Act 7 beta that's out right now. I've got champion videos for so many people that I've been working on and that I want to keep doing. And, you know, just a little bit of real life R&R too would be nice. So, AC, big congrats on the 50 subs. I saw the video that you posted a little bit earlier about that. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, actually. Congrats. Solder, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to have you guys here. It's really cool getting to just hang out, chew the fat a bit, and put up some points at the same time. But all that having been said, I'm starting to look at my roster. I had the rank up today of Sunspot, and he's fun to play. But I've had him before, right, as a 5-star. So you know, it's cool having Sunspot again as a 6-star. But I'm already, and this is just really a lot of just, you know, the way my mind works, and I guess who I am, is that I'm already starting to think and plan for who the next rank up is going to be, even though that's not for probably another 3 weeks, 4 weeks probably, depending. I'm starting to look a little bit more at Gilly 99, just because she's so useful for flow wars, and I feel like she has a really fun kit. And even though I struggle using her right now, that's more of like a me thing as opposed to like a problem with her kit. So we'll have to see. Jack, Awaken Corvus or Medusa? If it's a generic Awakening Stone, wake up Corvus for sure, but don't awaken a Medusa. If it's a Cosmic, still Corvus. Definitely. Yeah, that Corvus is going to serve you so well in so many different places. The fact that he can just eat debuffs and not die when he's awakened is such a lifesaver. It's going to save you so many potions and revives, especially if you bring him into war. So, yeah, Corvus every day. Medusa's not a bad champ, but Corvus I think would be better of the two. Yeah. You know, having only ever seen the profile pic of Spider Miles, you know, that's kind of how I pictured you right there, with the teal windbreaker and the red hoodie and all that. Well, cheers. Cheers on the suggestion. Wow, you've been playing since January and already you have got a Corvus and a Medusa? Dang. Congrats. You hit the luck jackpot right there. Yeah, absolutely. That having been, you know, the only thing with Corvus is that he doesn't have a whole lot of synergies. Like his only real good synergy is with Proxima, right? And that's just for fighting True Strike champions. There aren't really any other characters that synergize with him. So just have a heads up for that, but that really shouldn't affect your decision, I don't think. Yeah, honestly, Jack, that's really good. Yeah, keep taking Quake up as far as you can get her. There's no guarantees that she's going to be available as a as a 6-star, so this may wind up being as good as it gets. And she's awesome. Nice, AC. Good luck. 3 pass away, you could have that by end of the weekend. At the latest. For any of those of you who are interested, just either getting a feel for Act 7 or, I don't know, just appreciate artsy looking maps. On my Twitter, I wound up posting the new Act 7.1.2 map for the new beta that got launched today. It seems like every 2 days they're coming out with a new chapter or section in each of the chapters. So the next one should be out on Friday, I'm thinking. So I'll have to come up with one right there, but you know, just to get a feel for who you're going to be fighting and the sort of nodes that you're going to be fighting on, as well as, you know, some of the global buffs, stuff like that. Just threw that together, consolidate all the information into one place. So yeah, feel free to check that out. Soldier asks, do I know why, I'm going to rephrase this. Do I know why you haven't gotten your Alliance reward? How long have you been in the Alliance for? That's my only guess. Because if you joined the Alliance in the last week and a half, whatever it is, a couple weeks tops, you may have missed the cutoff, unfortunately. Yeah, Quake is such an amazing cheat code. She's a cheat code though, in so much as that if you're skilled enough to use her, she can do amazing things for you. Which is the best kind, you know. High risk, high reward. Yeah. That's one of the unfortunate things that you know, Kabam doesn't really announce or publish much anymore, is that there's a cutoff, kind of like for the AQ rewards or summoner advancement, stuff like that, or even to be able to donate to an Alliance treasury now. You got to be in an Alliance for X amount of days, and it varies between those 4 different things, but yeah. Sorry, man. You know, Red Skull, now that I think about it, just looking at him, Red Skull is one of those champs that I really want to like. And he could be super useful. Because his kit is fantastic, and the synergies he has, especially the one with Omega, make him extra useful. It's just that his numbers aren't there. Kind of like Ebony Maw, right? The idea of him is there. It's just that the numbers don't really amount to anything practical, unfortunately. So Maw is like 1 killer synergy away, and Red Skull is 1 killer synergy away from being, I don't want to say viable, but useful. Which is such a shame. Because like I said, his kit is a lot of fun to play. On paper, at least. Yeah, and you're always going to need to wind up relying on that parry a little bit. And for the most part, that doesn't really, it's not really a big issue. You know, even for stun immune champs, parrying isn't a big issue. You just need to be aware that they're stun immune. But you know, always, you know, keep practicing, keep working at it. That way you can get to be like an MVP pro and go up against like unblockable champs. Nice, congrats on being promoted to officer too. AC's moving up. See, because like when I'm talking about Red Skull, right? He has the potential to be awesome because he can power drain, which is great. His shock really adds up. He can he's got power gain, which is nice, and his armor up makes him a tank, right? So like each time you fill a bar of power, you get an armor up buff, and the more armor up buffs you have, the less crit damage you take, the less damage you take, and it improves your abilities too, right? So if you play smart, especially with the Omega Red synergy, you don't ever need to worry about losing your armor ups because you're such a tank, you can just eat the hit you may get anyway by charging your special one, or charging your heavy to get to a special one. The problem though is that the damage just isn't there. So he could be really viable as like a tank champ, someone who can just mitigate energy damage and be a power controller. It's just, again, the numbers aren't there. Yes, I am going to be saving up for the chronometer. And I think I'm, at this point, probably like a day or so away from getting that. And then just starting to save up again for whatever else comes after that. I don't know which of the 5-star awakening stones I think I would be most interested in. I'm sitting on 2 science, so definitely not that one. Since I woke up my whatchamacallit? I woke up my Ghost Rider the other day. I don't know if I'm gonna be saving up for a Mystic. Maybe Mutant. We'll see. I don't know. I got time. But yes, I am saving and saving for the 5-star. I have been playing the game for, let's see, going 4.5 years. So I started playing maybe about like 5 months after the game came out. One of my buddies downloaded it right as it came out, and he was just saying like, "Hey, Rob, you gotta play this game. It's so much fun. You gotta play it." I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, that's great. Because I was playing other stuff, and you know, it's one of those things that like someone's like, "Hey, this is a really cool thing," and you're like, "Yeah, that's a real cool thing," because you want to be, you know, supportive, but you don't want to just like outright come out and say, "That's cool, but I'm doing other things right now." But you know, he was insistent, and he started showing me like gameplay of it, and you know what? I was like, all right, well, that actually looks pretty cool. And then I downloaded it, and 4.5 years later, here I am. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. That is ridiculous luck. Like, you're lucky to get 1 5-star awakening in the entire run, right? So to get 3, that's just disgusting luck. What's up, Blue? It's not worth it if you don't need 5-star awakening stones. The other rewards are kind of like, if you're at the point where 5-star awakening stones aren't worth it for you, the other rewards aren't going to be worth it for you. You've got better odds of pulling better stuff out of the extra 3-4 rifts you can open with the chronometer cost. So it really just depends. Yeah, and that's cool. See, the nice thing is that it gives you options. You know, the more options the game gives us, I think the better the game gets. That's why I'm a big fan of the Nexus stuff. And I hope that we keep seeing more of the Nexus stuff going forward. Even when the new variant comes out, right? If it's like a Nexus 2015 to 2016, 2017, whatever it is, 3 to 4 stone, that would be perfect. Because that, I think, out of everything is the thing I'm really not looking forward to. Just because they've gone to that well so many different times in the past variants, it's like I'm really running out of champs to rank up at this point. It's not even a matter of good champs anymore. It's just like I'm just running out of champs. Because you got to go into it assuming, because I had been playing for as long as I've been playing, is that I ranked up a number of those champs already anyway, just because they're good and fun to play with, and then to throw the stones from variant on top of that, it's like, okay, well, now I've ranked up the rest of the good ones. Now I'm just going through, hey, I have this champ, I've got this stone, I can't use it for anybody else, so may as well. But even now, even then, it's like, well, now what? Alright, Jack, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good one. Soldaras, who is my favorite champion? That would be Elsa Bloodstone, hands down. She's just too much fun to play. Alright, AC. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll catch you in the next one. Alright, so things are looking pretty good here so far. Just about ready to hit 14 mil. Should be able to hit that by the time I run out of 6 stars here, so that's nice. On a pretty good pace. But yeah, the more Nexus stuff they can dole out, the better. Especially now that they've dangled like Nexus 5-star crystals, Nexus 6-star crystals over our heads. There's just no going back. I think, though, more than anything for the Nexus, I really wish that the next iteration of dungeon or incursion crystals are Nexus crystals. Maybe consolidate the pool, sure, why not? Have less options. But from those less options, you can actually pick the champ you want. Because right now, the current way that those incursion crystals are set up is so lame. Because like right now, even with the buff or the rebranding from dungeons to incursions, it still takes you 2 months-ish, 2.5 months of doing everything every time at the highest level to be able to afford one 5-star incursion crystal, right? So after that 2 months of saving up and doing everything every day, every chance you get a 5-star crystal, which then gives you a 10% chance of getting whoever it is you want to get. If there are multiple champs in the crystal you want, that's great, but just say even best case scenario, you want half of them, you still have a 50-50 shot. And then on top of that, with that 50-50 shot, you can only get that crystal once ever. So it gives you, no reason, no incentive to just stockpile shards, right? Because you only can buy one crystal, and who knows what, the next batch is going to be 3 months down the road. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. working for 2.5 months for a 10% chance for somebody is not really worth it in my book. Now, were they to change that, could be a different story. Yeah, and that's not a bad idea either. Just get the basic 5-star crystal. If they want to add 6 stars in some capacity, that would be great too. You know, double the cost, triple it, whatever. But I think when you do that, that'll really get people extra excited about doing it in the first place. It'll be a lofty goal for everybody. Yeah, exactly. Provided the odds are there. But then again, Kabam's got everybody so hooked on crystals that, you know, they can post the FGMCs where you have a 0.1% chance to get the featured 6-star. And, you know, you just need to do a quick search through YouTube to see how popular that is. Or even when it comes back, you know, the second time around, it gets boosted from a 0.1 to a 0.3% chance, which isn't a whole lot better. But to each their own, and until they actually have like a 6-star arena or some proto version of that, that's really the only way you can get 6-star champs, especially the new ones. Can I guess what your second 5-star is gonna be? Nightcrawler. I mean, I'd love to say like Captain Sparkles or Nick Fury or like, you know, somebody like that, but odds are it's probably gonna be somebody who's useful. Not beyond God tier, but still pretty useful. Ah, man, Blue, don't throw that out there. It said useful. I have seen a couple of videos here and there of like Kamala Khan actually doing some pretty solid work, but I don't know. Sedan, thank you. Yeah, I was really excited to do that rank up. Finally got some of those champs that I'd been sitting on for, and you know, eyeing for such a long time. Finally got to take them up and give them their due. It was really, really fun. It was really cool. Let's see if that, okay. That should be fine provided I don't get clipped again. That works. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's really an important thing about this game that I feel is oftentimes either overlooked or underappreciated. Is that, you know, once you start pulling champs at a higher tier than the rest of your roster, right? So whether it's you're starting to pull 4-stars when you're first starting out, right? And you just have 2s and 3s and you're starting to pull your 4s, or starting to pull 5s, or starting to pull 6s, right? It's more often than not, you see people who get really angry or frustrated or sad that they didn't pull like this small handful of the beyond god tier right out of the gate, right? Instead of just like, hey, this person isn't, you know, my first choice or even my second choice, but they aren't useless, you know? It gives you the opportunity to play with champs who you wouldn't play with otherwise, figure out, you know, their benefit, where you can like use them optimally and make the most of it. And who knows, maybe you'll discover that you actually like playing them, you know? I know that's certainly true for me with the 6 stars right now. Yeah, let's do that. Because like for me, I'm really hoping to still pull like a Night Thrasher, or like when he gets added in next month. I wouldn't mind pulling Joe Fixit. I actually would be pretty happy pulling a Joe Fixit out of a 10k crystal. Because, for two reasons. First of all, I haven't played Fixit in years. But when I was playing Fixit, he was a main staple for me in AQ. Not ideal, but he was still fun to play, and he was unique, and it was different. So we'll see, you know, there's over 160 players or characters in this game now, and there's 2 more getting added every month, at least. The game can't boil down to like 10 champs who are amazing and you only use them ever. And you wind up missing out on like 90% of the other cool stuff that the game and the roster has to offer. Like, take for instance Doc Ock here. Doc Ock is super underrated, but ridiculously useful. And I'm really thankful to have pulled him as a 6-star because I wouldn't ever have played with him otherwise. But now that I have, I'm like, oh hey, Doc Ock is actually an amazing champ. You know, and that's the other thing, you know, when was the last time anybody ever played OG or OG Ms. Marvel, right? She's been sitting at a 4-star for ages, and who knows if she's ever going to get a 5 or 6-star treatment. But she's unique, and she's fun to play too. She's not entirely a copy-paste of OG Captain Marvel. I always thought that Ms. Marvel was a little bit better than Captain Marvel. Kind of in the same way that World War II Cap is better than OG Cap, arguably. Well, he was, at least, back when, you know, it was just a 4-star game. Now I think OG Cap is better just because he has better synergies. Cheers. Oh, Ms. Marvel? That would be nice. Like, I'm sure someone is going to come out and say that it's an awful idea to add her in the featured pool because she's got no place in 2020, and it's not entirely unfair to say that, but it is still pretty unfair. What I think is really unfair, though, is that a lot of the old champs have just been completely forgotten by the devs, you know? Like, occasionally you start getting people showing up in various synergy teams, which is really fun. Like, Electro's got a fun synergy with Stealth Spidey, which I can't use in really any any of the endgame content because I don't have anything higher than a 4-star Electro. I'm hoping to pull one eventually and take that synergy out for a spin and, you know, high-end content, but I mean, something like that, just give you a reason to dust off some old champs and take them for a spin again. So then, you know, that's actually one of the videos that I need to get around to making. I've got the 3-star, and I've got the 3-star Awakened. I recorded the first part today because of the level up event of ranking her up, so I've got a max level 3-star White Widow at Sig 8. So now I just got to take her out and figure out how to use her. But so far from what I've played with her, I think the thing I'm most excited about is just the synergy she has with Ronin. Like, she's not, doesn't look like she's like a meme tier or that she's awful. It's just that I like Ronin better, and she does a lot for him. You know, Solder, as soon as I get enough videos, like I might do like an end of year thing. Like, I appreciate how Seaton does like a lucky and salty moments of 2018, 2019, whatever it is. So I might do something like that. Give me a chance to build up a little bit deeper of a backlog, or a catalog, I should say. That having been said, I would need to probably do a couple more live streams of Act 7 content to get the real salt flowing. Oh boy, because I know the salt would flow. I haven't jumped in to dive too far into the gameplay of 712. It doesn't look like, it looks on paper at least that it's a little bit more straightforward than 711, with the exception of the MODOK boss. But you know, I have to see when I actually get in there and try it out. That's probably not going to be a live stream. But we'll see. I'm still kind of disappointed that they haven't posted anything related to the potential rewards. Because, you know, you can put whatever content out in front of me, right? But you can make it as challenging or complicated as you want. And, you know, it looks like it's extremely specific currently. But, you know, it's the rewards really that they get me excited and wanting to dive in and invest the time and the energy and planning and plotting, you know. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's very rare that you get fun mechanics for that, as opposed to annoying or difficult or slow mechanics. And as much as I'd like for it to be fun, you know, like, hey, I've got an hour, I'm just going to dive in and do this one path in Act 7 just for kicks. It's more about, hey, okay, I'm going to, you know, buckle down, do this, get it over with, so I can get some cool stuff and rank up the characters that I really want to rank up or like to play or whatever. So I can use them at a higher level and do more damage and have better survivability and some of the actual more fun modes in the game. So. Fortunately, it doesn't look like it's anything as long as Act 4. Like it looks like you can still burn through each path with full energy. But Act 4 was ridiculous. That was like a energy refill and a half to get through a single path. So far, there aren't any champion gates though, so that's nice. Same 5-star and up requirement, but then again, it's only Chapter 1. Who knows what Chapter 2 will bring, or even what the rest of the sections in Chapter 1 would be. So we'll see. I think so far the longest slog really looks like it'd be that alternating bleed and poison from 711. Because that negates most everybody in terms of like speed and effectiveness. Because most of the big bleed champions in the game do big bleed damage over an extended period of time, right? And you've got less than 10 seconds to be able to launch a special and have the bleed do its damage before it gets shrugged off, which is super annoying. Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I'm really... I was really happy with some of the Abyss fights that they wound up throwing at us. Because Abyss was annoying at times, but there were enough really genuinely fun fights scattered throughout that it made the whole thing pretty worth it, for me at least. Like I always point out the Captain Marvel fight. And I think it was only super fun for me just because I had Doctor Doom and because of their unique interaction. It just made it so silly. So silly. Fun, but so silly. Where it was just a fun time. Forgot about his stupid aura. Alright, now if you could kindly poison the dude to death, that would be great. Thank you. Got me out of that jam. It looks like it could be Roberto. It could be. I mean, it probably is, especially if you're going to go for a Legends time. But it also looks like if you take it slow, you could probably do it FTP. Where like you save for a week, couple weeks, and then do a path, and then save for another week, couple weeks, and then do another path. Like you might be able to get away there. That's how I wound up doing some of Act 6. And then that also just like thins out the frustration a little bit too, which is nice. Now, if they could incorporate like a variant style gimmick into Act 7, then that could be fun. Come on. Thank you. Where like each like chapter, each section has its own thing, right? Or its own unique handicap. Oh, stupid. Dang it. No wonder I got melted. I'm just glad he didn't have a saber tooth, or else Beardo would have been toast immediately. But that was just bad luck, that first fight. It'll be interesting to see what Red Guardian can bring to the table with his blocking unblockable stuff. Like, I get it's got a cooldown, which is, I think, necessary so he isn't broken. But he might be a solution for that. Otherwise, unblockable is pretty annoying because there's only a few champs that you can really play around that, and otherwise it's just, you know, extremely strategic movement. Or else you get backed in corner and that's it for you. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, I'm scared for that arena grind. Which nodes did you leave up when you did the MODOK fight? Because he's got 3. He's got Freezer Burn, he's got Limber, and he's got the what's the other one? The Bleed Poison. Yeah, right. Have a little fun to play with words. Because I think that MODOK fight is doable, even with the Limber up. Just like as a tanky, super tanky MODOK. But I don't know. I think a couple of those combos could be pretty annoying. Because a lot of people's strategy for fighting MODOK is to parry heavy. So I think that's going to throw a lot of people. Because then also you got to fight him with a champ who has one of those immunities or one of the abilities to shrug off said immunity, which also really limits who you can use. Let's just do this. Doppelganger fight. It is interesting that they're bringing back some of the MODOK's lab characters for Section 3. Because who's that? That's what was that Gwenperion? The Gwenpool hybrid. Kind of afraid to see what they've done with her in light of the Weapon X re-release. Yeah, and then I'm sure you could probably do it with some of the other champs too that can shrug off debuffs, so I think Crossbones might wind up working for that. Beardo with a skill synergy might work out for that. AEGON if you got him ramped up. I mean, there's options. I want them to bring back Ice Phoenix just so I can slap her silly for old time's sake. Because all this time later, I'm still bitter about that fight. I did it. Still bitter. Or what was it? It was there was like a one-off event or something like that. A good chunk of time later. With like a AEGON. With a node that constantly ramped up his hit counter. So if you didn't instantly KO him the first time you fought him, then effectively you'd be starting the fight with a fully ramped up AEGON. And then of course the usual nonsense like huge damage, yada yada yada, unblockable everything, but that's just AEGON. Are you saying, sorry, you're saying that you can fight MODOK with Emma? Or so far you're pretty good with both the Emma boss and then the MODOK boss? Because Emma would probably be another option too for fighting MODOK. Possibly. Let's do this. Nice! Nums, congrats on the AEGON. That's a super sick score. And well, yeah. If you got the skill gem, just throw that on AEGON ASAP, and then throw, as many 5-star Sig Stones onto him as well. Dude only gets better with more Sig levels on him. Once he gets to like Sig 100, 120, somewhere around there. After that, it's not as necessary. It makes life a little bit easier, but it's not as necessary. But that's just nitpicking, getting into the weed stuff. The fact that you got the AEGON and the stone is amazing. Big congrats to you, my friend. Oh, good. Yeah, I think the trick to Emma is just whoever can deal out the most secondary damage. So like Seaton took Emma with Sunspot, right? Void, I'd imagine, would help. Gilly, I think, could do pretty good too. Yeah, provided she's got the 100 hits going in. Oh yeah. Lala's gonna be such cake now that you got him. He's such a fantastic cheat. Well, and then plus he can take him just about anywhere else too on top of that. It's not like he's just a one-hit wonder. It'll be super useful for Act 5, for Act 6, for Abyss, for Variant. Only thing he's not super great for is Boss Rush, just because it ends too quick. Excuse me. Do I have any rank 3 6-stars? I do. I've got 5. That's awesome. I've got a, well, the first one I did was Thor Ragnarok. And I'm not mad about that. Even in light of the 4 that I ranked up after the fact, and, the champs that I pulled after the fact, I still would take him up. He's pretty underrated. And in the right situation, he's a lot of fun to play too. But Thor Rags was my first one. Stealth Suit Spider-Man was my second. Ghost was my third. that's a little annoying. Headset's on the fritz. So we'll just have to wing it with the backup mic here on the camera. So sorry if the sound quality isn't as good as it was, but unfortunately that's just how it is. Nums, those are two amazing options for rank 5. Ghost is probably hands down the best champ in the game, and AEGON is far and away the best questing champ. So yeah, to have both of them, that's amazing. Don't feel bad about that. The rank 3s are super brand new. Like 99% of the entire community here don't have rank 3s yet. But you got some really good options when that time comes. Because those rank 2s right there are, they're pretty shiny. They're pretty shiny and they're pretty cool. Yeah, same here. She's still usable unduped, which is nice. You know, I really dislike champs that are completely useless until they're awakened, like Omega Red. I would argue Void, Nick Fury, a couple others. Ghost is at least usable, it's just not optimal. But yeah, I used my one and only generic on her for that exact reason. Cheers. Well guys, we're looking really good here points wise. This next one's going to push me over 16. So, I guess I will pose it to you. What should I do next? I can keep going, grinding arena, just throwing teams out. Or I can take one of the aforementioned champs and just take him for a spin and some of the story content. So either play with the new White Widow, play with Ronin with the White Widow synergy, take Elsa Bloodstone off for a spin, or something totally different. We got options. I'm also really tempted to start taking on my crossbones too. The fact that he doesn't crit is useful for war, and the fact that he can shrug off debuffs and reduce ability accuracy is pretty nice. Comes in handy. Let's do this. Do all of those. Alright. Well, see, I'm tempted just to play with Elsa, just because she's so much fun to play. But then at the same time, I'm also kind of curious just to take out White Widow, because I haven't played her. Okay. There you go. Blue, you convinced me.
Because I do want to test out that Ronin synergy just a little bit more. Because when I was doing it, I didn't have any of Deep Wounds turned on. So I kind of really want to see what he does with the synergy and with Deep Wounds. See how far the, or how deep the rabbit hole goes. But we just gotta slap around Warlock here first. What a silly goose. And there's that. Cheers. Okay. So let's dive in and let's have some fun with that. Let's see where I am in the quest currently. Okay, so I'm almost done. Just gotta get through a couple of these fights first and then have at it. So this one right here is the uncollected vanilla path of the last section. The one with Sheriff Hopper at the end. That should have been carry. So that got an annoying Karnak. Namor just because. Easy peasy. As I get slapped around, of course. Come on, my dude. Yeah. Well, Red Guardian too with Sabretooth and Omega both. Because right now, Omega, Saberman, and Void is a pretty solid war team. So it'll be interesting to see if Guardian can take Void's place and just run that as like a new trifecta. Like, I don't think so. Because, like, replacing Void is just so strange a concept to me, just because he's been so ridiculously useful. But then again, I mean, if Guardian winds up being worth his salt, you never know. And there we go. Got the boss left here. Not feeling too confident with Elsa. I haven't run it with Elsa yet, but we'll see how that goes. Because of that. And also because he can shrug off her multiplier. That's a good debuff. Forget. You need to look at his stat or his abilities later. Like what the way to prevent being stunned by the shield shatter is. Like if you have to use a heavy or you have to use a special. Yeah, I think so. I think it has to be a special, which is fairly annoying. Or you can just bring Beardo with skill and not worry about it. Easy game, easy life. Yeah, it looks that way. Or imagine if you're Iceman, or you've got another way to ignore stuns. But okay, here we go. So first one we're gonna do is just Ronin, vanilla Ronin by himself. I'm going to record this too because some of this might come in handy later on. So just vanilla Ronin by himself. Guardian's going to be really, really annoying then on nodes that just prevent power in the first place. Right? Because if you can't throw a special to ignore the stun, you're just gonna be in for a bad time. Okay. So ideally for Ronin here, get the 7 cruelties up. Throw special 2 for that extra deep long bleed. Reconvert those 7 cruelties into extra bleeds. Now right now I'm not, obviously I don't have any synergies, I don't have anything in deep wounds, it's just vanilla Ronin by himself. I do have double edge on, so damage is going to be just a little bit higher than what it would be otherwise. What am I blocking? This is the Winter Soldier. And then I do forget, the nice thing about Ronin is that you don't need to make contact or direct contact in order to switch his stances. So you can hit into his block 2, 3, 4 times, whatever it is. What's up, Saucy? How are ya? Hope you're doing well this fine evening. Right now we are testing out the new synergy with White Widow and Ronin. And we're just barely getting started on that. We're getting a ground level for Ronin himself without any buffs or boosts or synergies or anything else. And then go in and add a couple of those after the fact. Come on, dude. I'm doing very well. It was a good day. It was a good day in real life. It was a good day in game. And it's nice to cap it all off with really laid back arena grind, putting up the last points for the 1 to 10 milestones. And now just gonna hang out here, put up some pretty crazy bleeds. So the thing with both Deep Wounds and the White Widow synergy is that it doesn't increase the potency of the bleed, it just increases the duration of it. So in order to increase the potency of it, you need to throw in the Black Panther synergy too. But then that's your entire roster of synergy champs just to boost one guy, and that's not really worth it. I had to drop the ball at the end there. Alright, get out of here. He is. That's why I'm really excited about the White Widow synergy right now, because Ronan is this close to being absolutely amazing. He can shrug off any debuff, whether it's active or passive, which makes him super useful. He can inflict bleed through block, which is also super useful. He's got a really fun kit. It's just that, you know, Nick Fury exists, so that automatically makes Ronan a whole lot less viable. Hey, dude, congrats. Rank 3 Silver Surfer is nuts. I mean, that's a huge prestige play, but he's also fun to play too, so big congrats to you, Saucy. That's really cool. See, I'm right on the fence whether I want to rank up my 5-star, because on one hand he's fun to play, but on the other hand, you know, it's a 5-star, so we'll see. Maybe someday. You have to let me know how you like him, especially at that high of a level too. Okay, so the thing with White Widow is that the normal synergy gives Ronan a 10% boost to his duration, but a Dead Widow gives Ronan a 40% boost. I don't want to butcher your name there, but Parzival? How you doing? Sorry if I did, but it's going good. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. And hope you're having an amazing evening or morning. Hope you're having a great day so far. Alright, so the last Winter Soldier fight was 160 hits with just a vanilla Ronan. And now with the KO'd White Widow, we'll see if that helps at all. So what I'm going to want to do here is get my 7 cruelties up. Launch the special 3, get that extra little boost, work my way back up to a special 2 again with 7 cruelties, and then just lay into the guy. Now, it isn't going to work out exactly perfect in the real world because we're going up against a Winter Soldier who can't launch a special 3. So in the real world, it won't be as optimized, just because you gotta always dance around the specials. Actually, you know what? That's a Fury that Ronan gets, right? So if I bring Sparkles and Nick Fury along with Ronan and White Widow, that would prolong the Fury by a bit. You could have more fun with him for longer. Oh, very cool. It's always cool having an AGT family here on the stream. It's a cool place to be. It's a real cool place to be. How are you feeling now with war season over? And how'd you guys do? Alright, so yeah, okay, so that is a Fury. And that wound up being 125. Okay, so that's 125 hits instead of 160, something like that. So that's a little bit better. But now let's go in and play around with the masteries a wee bit. Well, there you go. Congrats. I will say it's always fun too when two AGT alliances wound up getting paired together in war. Actually, you know what? That might not be a bad strat either. When two AGT alliances get paired up in war, because you know, we're already all family in the family chat, so just the trash talking just flies all over. It's so much fun. All right, so what I'm doing here is that I'm going to be putting 5 points into deep wounds, just for a little bit extra spice. Yeah, we wound up surprising ourselves and we got Plat 1. When, like, we originally were Plat 4 2 seasons ago. Then we wound up working our way up to 3, and 2 was our goal this season. But we got completely thumped in the first war. But rallied and had a heck of a season after that. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. We surprised ourselves. You know, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about the King Groot. He's a tank of a champ with some solid poison, and a solid poison dealer is somebody I could always use more of. Plus, at the end of the day, he's just extra arena points since he's a new champ. So obviously he isn't, you know, the Captain Marvel or Captain Sparkle's Awakening. I don't want to go there. Why am I going there? Not the Sparkle's Awakening, and he's not, you know, a Fantastic Four member. But yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Unfortunately, Saucy, I'm gonna have to pass on dungeons tonight. But if somebody else in chat is free and wants to play, absolutely, you guys have at it. I'm actually also really hoping to wake up my King Groot, because then, you know, once he's awakened, then he gets the regen, and makes him even more viable. All right, so let's see. Let's see now. We got the last soldier down in 125 hits. now we've got the synergy and 5 points in deep wounds. So let's see what it winds up being this time. One hit too fast. That's gonna throw the final hit off. Now, if I was playing a bit more cavalier and a bit more bold, I would just intercept him, because Ronin is really tailor-made to intercept. But I kind of want to just take out the numbers, so there will not be a whole lot of intercepting tonight. What's up, Daniel? How are ya? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well here today. Glad to have you. Come here, my dude. Now I got the big numbers. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. So. Oh, this also is me with no suicides on. I suppose that should be noted as well. But I don't have enough points to turn suicides and deep wounds on. Perfect. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what 6-star Sunspot can do. 5-star's been a lot of fun to play with, but you know, 6-star is just something else. Okay, so there we go. With no suicides, it's 140. Isn't bad. But those bleeds were really starting to stack up, since you got both the deep wounds and the White Widow synergy, prolonging the duration there. I kind of want to do one more test with just the 2 of them, and then either throw in the Black Panther synergy or the Fury Sparkles just for kicks, just to kind of see what they do, because both of them would bolster Ronin, but just in different ways. Kind of almost tempted just to do the Fury Sparkles, just because I think more people would have Fury Sparkles on a actual team. But we'll see. Okay, so so I got my 7 cruelties up. Now I just gotta push myself to a special 3. I don't remember off the top of my head, but does Ronin have a power gain with somebody? Black Widow, maybe? See, that's tough, because Domino's just a lot of fun to play too. I would probably go with Sunspot, just because Sunspot doesn't need 2 other champs on the roster to be super amazing. Like, Domino's a lot of fun to play with, don't get me wrong, and her damage output is nasty. But she really does benefit a whole lot more from having Rolk and Masakura on the squad. Which is cool, but those are 2 extra spots that you could give to somebody else, you know? So I'd probably do Sunspot first and Domino second. Build up to a special 2 again. Because I think now, looking at this, just because I gotta save up for a special 3, then a special 2, which is not actually that unlike Storm X now. You really benefit from a power gain champ. Come on, my dude. Yeah, you bet. And congrats. Alright, so let's see what he does now. I'm thinking that after I launch the special 2 here with all the cruelties up and whatnot, that's going to be the fight here. Oh, you know, I went into this fight saying there's one more thing I want to try, and then I absolutely don't do the thing I was going to try. What I was going to try is intentionally take 50% of my health off so as to activate that mastery boost, and then see how many hits it takes. Alright, my bad. Guess I'll just have to do this fight again. Okay, so there's that. Hopefully Winter Soldier here is aggressive. Oh, that's right, I don't even have oh, this is gonna be slow. Come on, my dude. Come on. Come on. There we go. See, the other thing I want to get a lot better with Ronin about is playing around with his auto evade, because accidentally, and I do say accidentally because I think that's a really strong caveat to throw out there, accidentally I have fully dexed Nick Fury's special 1 with Ronin. And it's plausible so long as you don't get hit, I think, by that first strike, because that's what throws the slow on you, basically. So if you can do that and avoid that, then provided your Ronin is sigged up enough to have a long enough evade for the rest of the special, which should be entirely dexable. But if you get tagged by that slow, then you're in trouble. Aw, man, I'm just barely at 50% again. Come here, my dude. Stupid willpower. Come on, just give me a couple more times. So I definitely want to keep practicing with that, because if I can get good with that, that would just make that fight so much easier. I'm definitely under 50%. I am all done with Act 6. I just finished that up a couple weeks ago, and I am very glad to have that done. That having been said, I think the Grandmaster fight is probably the most fun fight that they've ever incorporated into the game. So I actually kind of would like to just play that fight again by itself. Like without having to go through the whole line of dudes first to get to them. Well, it's a shame that he didn't have enough health left for me to actually see what the bleed damage does to him. But got the total hit count down by 15 hits. So that's not bad. Let's see. Yeah, 6-2 was awful. 6-2 was awful. We shall not speak of this 6-2. I do have power. Who's that with? Black Widow? Okay, cool. Now, it's so dumb that White Widow doesn't synergize with Black Widow. So dumb. And then she synergizes with Hawkeye. And I think Taskmaster only benefits Hawkeye. Am I remembering that right? I think it's only Hawkeye. Yeah. So that doesn't do anything for me. Let's do this and this. And who do this better? Oh, that's right. It's the wrong Widow. And let's bring Storm for the double power game. Okay, so this synergy, as completely implausible as it would be to use in like an actual setting, I think might wind up being one of the more optimized for Ronin. So the dead White Widow gives Ronin 40% extended bleed duration. I've got 5 points in deep wounds, which also increases the bleed duration. I've got a 25% boost to bleed damage because of the Black Panther synergy, and a 2 sets of 5% power increase because of Storm and OG Black Panther. So that means I should be doing a whole lot of damage super quick. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. That one fight by itself was so dumb. I think I wound up using She-Hulk for all of it. I think. But that no retreat really screwed things up with She-Hulk. I'd save that one for second to last. Because I didn't want the last fight to be the worst fight. So, let's see what happens here. Yeah, lucky you. I didn't have him yet when I went through that. That would make life a lot easier. But it's another one of those things where I hate champion-specific bosses, right? Where you need the one specific character, or else you're just not going to have a prayer. Like the Medusa boss in 6-3 is exactly that way. You know, if you don't have a Symbiote Supreme, you're in for a heck of a time. If you don't have Symbi and Killmonger, just don't even try. It's not going to go well for you. goes off. That's 1600 for the massive bleed there, which is nice. I'm only going to get one shot at those bleeds, because he's not going to last much more beyond that. Special 2 there would suffice. Fight me. So, okay, and this should do it, I think. We'll just say 120 hits. I'm impatient. Okay, so that wasn't bad. That didn't help as much as I thought it would. Like, it's still the same number of hits. It's the same number of hits, but just a little bit faster, I think. Still not super optimized, though. And besides, at the end of the day, you're not going to have the Synergy Mule White Widow and then 2 Black Panthers and a Storm on your team. That's not realistic. What may be a bit more realistic, though, is doing this. So what does Sparkles do for me? Okay, a whole lot, actually. So even more increased bleed duration. That might not be bad either. Throw Moon Knight in there. And that's not relevant. Because I think this stacks. Does this stack? May as well test that out too. Okay, so the point of this synergy team now is we're still getting the 40% boost from Dead Widow. We're getting an increased Fury timer now because of Sparkles and Fury, plus a slightly higher bleed duration because of Sparkles and Ronin. And Moon Knight is just in there for kicks for right now, just to see if the Furies stack when switching stances. They do not. Well, that doesn't do a whole lot for me then. I do have extremely passive Winter Soldier so far, and that's nobody likes passive Winter Soldier. Moon Knight's another one of those champs I wish was better. He's got enough cool synergies now to make him interesting, but not enough to make him relevant, you know? Okay. So, let's see what this does. Who is it that Burial needs on the skill team to get that increased crit rating? Hawkeye? Alright, so let's see what this does. Only gonna get one shot at it. Not super impressive. So So Moon Knight definitely needs to come off because that's, I don't think, really worth the extra synergy spot for a champ that is just a synergy meal. Because White Widow would be a synergy meal. So let's see what this does. I mean, it's pretty close to a KO. And then you need to double check too that it's, if it just is an increase of the Fury timer, or if it's also a Fury boost for everybody. So 116, that's actually pretty good. I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so that actually wasn't that bad. That was 116 hits, which is the lowest that that's ever been at. I want to try that. Well, I want to check a couple things first, actually. I want to try that again with the same squad, but then... Okay, it's just increased duration. Because that doesn't do anything for everybody. Try the same squad, but then get below the 50% so the attack boost kicks in. And then see maybe about swapping. Oh, I could check that right now. Which skill champo? Okay, so that would be a... I don't really need a crit rating boost though for Ronin. Crit damage would be nice, but crit rating I don't think would really help a whole lot. And that could be interesting, but it's not worth taking up two spots for. What about Heimdall? As a completely random tangent, if the Professor X leak winds up being true later on, I really hope that his kit is super similar to Beardo, in that he's just like this ridiculous synergy god for so many other champs, right? Excelli? Sorry if I mispronounced that. I have no idea what's happening. Is this now? Are we here? Is this real? So many things are happening. Okay, so she's knocked out now, which means you can come back over here to Ronan and then get punched in the face a couple of times. For those of you who are just tuning in, I managed to get to a pretty adequate point threshold for Arena, to a point where I'm pretty happy where I'm at. But I had a lot of time to kill still, so I figured it'd be fun to take Ronan here. Into Realm here and just test out the new White Widow synergy. And so far, it's going swimmingly well. It shouldn't be this hard to stay under 50%. Alright, he still has enough health left. I need to be able to play with this. Come on, my dude. And there we go, that's 7. And that's 7. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we can have some fun. And hope that he lives long enough to get to a special 2, and that he lives long enough after that to see what kind of blue damage he can deal out. A lot of ifs. The fact that he's turtling up is really annoying. Not a good time, my dude. I'm on the clock here. That wasn't ideal either. Nothing about this fight has been ideal. Bleed out. Just bleed out. There we go. Alright, well, I think that's enough of that silliness. And I think that's a pretty decent place to leave that for tonight. Which, it turns out, tonight was a pretty good night. So, everybody, thank you. Thank you very much for watching. Wound up finishing up my arena grind, putting up all the points I needed to get into the 1 to 10% bracket, hopefully, assuming. And then even having a little bit of fun time after that, just taking Ronan for a spin with the new White Widow synergy. I think he's pretty awesome. I think he was really fun to begin with. I think he just was lacking that little bit extra oomph. So I think White Widow now, being purely a synergy mule on the team, kind of gives him that extra oomph, which is nice. But the fact that she has to be dead in order to do it is kind of a drag. So we'll see. I need to play around with it a little bit more. It's not a bad synergy though. So that's pretty cool. Again, for everybody who's been watching live, thanks for hanging out. It's always really cool getting to talk with you guys while I'm just grinding, and it makes for fun, relaxing time. So cheers. Thank you very much for watching. To everybody who has tuned in after the fact and has found the channel and this video specifically in the depths of the YouTubes, I very much appreciate it. Welcome to the channel, which is a great segue into the next bit. If I could get you guys watching live and you guys in the future to hit the subscribe button, that'd be very much appreciated. I'm currently doing a content creator push to join the program. Kabam has a minimum subscriber requirement to be able to get into the program, and I'm getting really close. Thanks to you guys, I'm getting really close. So when I say each and every bit helps, I'm totally serious. It really does help, and I really appreciate it. So thank you in advance. I'm going to be live streaming again tomorrow night and a couple more times this week. Taskmaster is the next arena up. I'm probably not going to be going for the 5-star for the first round, but I probably will be going for him the second round. So stay tuned for that. I got a couple other videos that are already pre-uploaded into YouTube. So those are going to be popping up periodically over the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Phone's already falling asleep. So there's plenty of cool stuff coming down the pipe. But yeah, there we go. Until next time, everybody, thank you again for watching. And until next time, take care, talk soon, stay safe, and be well, everyone. Bye for now.